Hey, what's up, stackers? This is Silver Slayer, and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is by far going to be the most interesting article I'll probably ever cover on my channel, simply because we're about to go back in time. We're about to go back to the year 2011 when silver was $50, and I found an article during that entire movement. Imagine how exciting it was. The first time silver was $50 since 1980. I wanted to bring this article to light, though, to see what they were thinking about the price of silver at that time. Were they selling? Were they still buying? Did they think the price was going to keep going higher? Because imagine how stressful that would be. And that's the hardest part about investing is, let's say silver goes up to $50 in a couple months from now, but is it gonna stay at 50 and go higher? Or what if 50 is the top and then it goes back down and it's only 25 for the next 10 years again? Like, imagine how these people felt when they didn't sell. They held on, probably bought a lot at $50. And now, silver's been, the average price actually of silver for the last 10 years has been $15. So just imagine that. And that's why I wanted to look at this article, because I want to see what they were thinking the price was going to do. Now, before we do jump into this very interesting article, I wanted to share my giveaway. I'm giving away some silver in celebration of hitting 55,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Links in the description. If you want a chance to get silver shipped straight to your front doorstep, just click that button. So, silver soared to an all-time high on Thursday, and gold rose to another record as the dollar fell and as signs that the Federal Reserve would maintain a loose monetary policy stoked inflation worries. Now, I think this 2011 $50 silver is more interesting and telling than the 1980 one, because 1980 $50 silver was from the Hunt brothers, right? Just cornering the market, basically. They just squeezed the silver price. This wasn't from anyone cornering the market. This was from an actual financial crisis, right? I mean, it all started in 2008. So what happened was the credit and financial crisis in 2008, right? And then that led to a recession/depression, and then billion-dollar stimulus, which led to $50 silver 3 years later. 2008 to 2011, all that happened. Nowadays, it's almost identical to what started in 2020. Recession/depression, credit financial crisis, trillion-dollar stimulus, and a global situation on our hands. So if that led silver to $50 back then, and this situation is almost identical, imagine what it could lead silver to today. But we're not done yet, right? We're still in the middle of that that gap. The 2011 price, that's the cap, that's the top. We haven't hit our top yet. The sky is the limit, because we've definitely never been in a situation that we're in right now. So let's keep looking at what they are thinking silver's going to do. Silver briefly climbed to within a whisker of $50 an ounce, eclipsing the peak hit when the Texan brothers William Herbert and Nelson Bunker Hunt sought to corner the silver market 3 decades ago. What I was just talking about, right? The Hunt brothers. The metal later pulled back on technical selling. So option traders reported strong buying of long-dated in the money silver calls, indicating bullish investors' expectations. Also, the value of gold in terms of silver fell to less than 32 ounces on Thursday. Wow, the gold to silver ratio was 32 to 1 back then. The lowest on record according to Reuters data dating back to 1982. That is insane. Gold to silver ratio at 32 to 1. And that's actually, if we talk about $250 silver, let's put it this way. If the gold to silver ratio goes back down to 16 to 1 right now with $2,000 gold, that's what, $250 silver? Or if we're talking about like $5,000 gold, because a lot of people say gold could go to that price, then what would silver's price be? And that gold to silver ratio, that's the most normal ratio. When you're talking about 16 to 1, that's the most normal. It's been like that for thousands of years. A ratio of 80 something to 1 is out of whack, and it will recover. It will start to normalize, meaning silver will outperform gold. But anyways, let's keep moving on. He says, I don't think the market is topped out. That's the scary part. This is the highest priced silver And this is in 2011. These guys don't realize that this is the highest price silver is going to be for another 30 plus years, because it still hasn't hit $50 an ounce, and it's 2022. These guys think that the market hasn't topped out yet, so they could be selling and cashing out these profits because they're not going to get another opportunity like this for decades. And I'm sure most people are buying right now at this price, since, when the prices are high, everyone's talking about it. There's videos, news, articles, your friends, your family, everyone's talking about it. So most people buy high and then sell low. It's supposed to be buy low, sell high. I'm sure most people were buying silver at $50 during this time, and I bet they sold when it was down to like $10, right? That's so dangerous. And that's also why I wanted to share this article, is because, sometimes the markets are exciting, but a lot of times that excitement translates into emotional attachment and involvement, which also translate into irrational decision making, impulsively buying, panic selling, and that's how you lose a lot of money. That's how most people get burnt. So spot silver, which has rocketed nearly 60% so far this year, rose 1.6% to $48.53 an ounce. And that's also, having earlier hit a record of $49.51 an ounce, surpassing a peak of $49.48 January 18, 1980, during the Hunt brothers era. So a U.S. jury found that the Hunt brothers conspired to manipulate the price of silver in the years 1979 to 1980. During that time, the price of the U.S. Silver future soared from below $11 to over $50, and then it tumbled back to around 11, which that was another crazy situation. If you've never heard me explain or tell the story of the Hunt brothers, you really should. I've made like a 3 or 4 part like docu-series on it, because the story is so complex. There's so many layers to it. There's like the mainstream media surface level, but when you start diving in, that stuff gets wicked. I'm talking, there is so much to that story that most people don't know, and I made like a 4-part video series on it. It's so cool. It's so cool. And by the way, the Hunt brothers got into silver because gold was banned at the time. In 1979, you couldn't buy gold, so they went to silver. And that's so crazy to think about, is like markets have been so different than where they are today. But if you don't know the history, you probably just assume, oh, you've always been able to buy gold and silver. Like, imagine gold being banned right now in today's time. That would be crazy. And imagine 1980 when the government banned silver on the COMEX. Silver Rule 7. Banned it. You couldn't buy it. You had to sell it. You had to sell it. And you couldn't sell it to friends. And then that led to Silver Thursday, which, what they just mentioned, silver was $50 an ounce, cut back down to around $11 within like a couple weeks. And there was a Thursday where the price cut in half, literally in half, and that's why it's called Silver Thursday. But anyways, if you don't know the history, sometimes it's good to know that you can use situations and tweak them to your advantage. Even if it's a negative situation or hurting the market, you can still profit. So soaring prices hurt the bottom line of certain manufacturers, including photography company Eastman Kodak, which is said on Thursday a hike in raw material costs, particularly silver, led to a decrease in its film business revenue. We are indexing our contracts, we are hedging, and we are moving as fast as we can with the part of the portfolio that is non-silver dependent. Wow, that's interesting. Like, even Kodak back then, to hear, especially as big as they still are today, but just to see how their cost of production would go up. And it's kind of insight into like Tesla and other companies that would also be affected in today's times if or when the price goes up. So, despite a continued decline in the film photography sector, we used to be a major silver buyer. Industry typically consumes half of the global supply of the metal. U.S. growth slows, inflation rises. So, talking about what's happening in the economy during that time, and it looks like the precious metals price rose after data showed U.S. economic growth break sharply in the first quarter as higher food and gasoline prices dampened consumer spending, sending inflation rising at its fastest pace in 2.5 years. And also, you got to keep remembering that they just got out of a recession/depression, credit financial crisis. Like, times are pretty much identical to this. I definitely think that today's time is more extreme, but when we're looking at these articles, you got to remember it's not just a normal day for them. They're also in a very bad situation. So, adjusted for inflation, however, the current price of silver is about 2/3 below its record at over $130 an ounce, while gold was only a third below at 2,200. Both records were set in 1980. But that's the inflation adjusted price. That's not what silver price actually was. But it's funny because even at gold's inflation adjusted price, gold did break above $2,000 last year. So silver has surged 11% in just the last 2 days, even after Monday's technical failure that almost sent prices towards $50 before pulling back sharply. Year to date, silver's up almost 60%, currently the best performing commodity, sharply above gold's 8% gain. So then they're looking at how silver options look bullish and that they think the price is going to continue to rise. So here's a point they're saying going up to $70 or $80. I'm seeing all types of bullish call buying, right? They're saying you need to be buying right now. Buy, right? Bet the silver price will rise further. Looking to buy cheap call spreads because this thing looks like it may shoot up to around $70 or $80. Just imagine how they felt when that $50 level that all of them are buying, thinking it's cheap. Now, looking back, realizing that that was the last time they'll ever see a number even close to that, right? Even half of what it's just so crazy to look at, and that's going to happen to us at some point when silver is $50, $100. We're not going to know what's about to happen, so we have to kind of put ourselves in these situations to be prepared. What price are you going to sell at? If silver does go to $150 next year, would you sell it or would you hold it because you think the price is going to go higher or that you know it will? Like, what are you going to do? Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I wanted to share this because I do think it's cool just to take a glimpse back in time and see what it was like during such a chaotic situation when silver was $50. I'm going to wrap this video up here. Make sure to go enter my 55K giveaway. May the luckiest stacker win. I am tired. Sorry if my voice is a little, all over the place. I'm about to go to bed, but I did want to make this video. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.